Ooh, what's up, and welcome into another post-game pod edition of the Program Guys podcast. My name is Mason Prince, joined with you as always by Ryan Tyson, Mark Hall, Matt Gann, Patrick Hertzberger. Today is Sunday, November 6th. The Oklahoma Sooners are coming off yet another loss to the Baylor Bears, 38-35 in Norman. I watched the game from this little place called Gunnersville, Alabama. I was on a work trip. Mark, Ryan in attendance, correct? Matt Gann
as well.
Yeah,
Matt
and
Gann?
Hugh.
Hugh in
Hugh
attendance.
Gann.
Patrick watched at home. Opening thoughts. Sucks. I hate it. I hate it a lot.
First thing I'm watching from home, ESPN Plus didn't do a great job.
Bro, they're bad. And it's not, and before like people jump in and be like, oh, it's because there's a woman commentator. That's not it. The broadcast itself was terrible.
Yeah.
Respectfully, she didn't know what was going on half the time. Like, I don't think their feed in the booth was like live or accurate. She was like delayed on every call she made. And I think it was because her feed was delayed. So
I heard it was
ESPN Plus.
Production that was a lot of the issues there. That's wild.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. If we're going to have this
Crazy.
exclusive deal with Soonivision to televise 2 of our games, they have to be ready for those games.
I know.
It's a bad look for everyone.
Yeah. Okay. What about the team? What about the game? The game itself, opening thoughts before we jump in.
Do we have to?
Yeah, I know. So my opening thought is this. Look, yeah, it sucks a lot right now, but it's not the Texas game loss. It's not the Kansas State loss, and it's definitely not the TCU loss. I feel like this one is, for whatever reason, easier to swallow because you had the opportunity to win the game. I think the thing that I was most frustrated with was the fact that any opportunity OU had to make a play, they didn't. Any opportunity, no matter at what point of the game it was, they needed a play, and they never did it. And I think that's the thing that frustrates me the most.
Yeah, I mean, are we just doing general thoughts right now?
Yeah.
And then we'll like get into it more detail. Okay.
Yeah.
Personally, defense was not good. Not a good defensive game. We talked about that in kind of like the intro last week's episode, that this team was going to have to stop the run. We gave up 281 rushing yards.
So gross.
192 to one guy. I mean, it's just like that is a very, very, very bad performance. We could not tackle. We could not do anything. And when you have a defense that is playing like that is allowing that kind of rushing, to make up for it, your offense has to not just be good, it has to be spectacular. And our offense was good, but not great, because they had 3 huge turnovers that cost us, 10 points, I believe. And we lost the game.
You're right.
We lost game by 3.
You're right.
So like, our defense, it started with our defense. I think, I didn't think the offense played that badly. I thought Dylan Gabriel played pretty well. He had 3 picks, but 2 of those were, tipped and like kind of got out of his hands, not really his fault necessarily. And like the defense just has to be better. No one is showing up. No one is making those big plays. No. And I think that's where the problem is with this game, at least in particularly. Anybody
else jump in there?
Yeah, I just don't feel like this is a game we should have lost. I really felt like we were the better team throughout the entire game. Even when it was 38-28 with 4 minutes left in the game, I felt confident that we had it under control and we could come back because our offense was moving well.
That's weird you say that, because I felt that way too.
But I felt different, guys. I felt that Baylor was the better team the entire game.
The
weird.
feel there is the feel in the stands watching the game was they were better than us.
Weird.
Yeah. That's the perspective you get from in the stands and at home, I guess.
Here's a fun quote from Brent Venables in his opening press conference. "We will employ an exciting, fast, explosive, and diverse offense combined with a physical, punishing, relentless, suffocating defense." Now, if you remove the word fast from that quotation, could you guys say that any of those things hold up? Any of the words there?
No.
I don't.
I'm going to give him more than like a season if to
obviously,
go up to that quote. Yeah.
right? We all still expected good things this season, and even setting aside the 3 interceptions, I don't think Dylan's the reason for any of those interceptions.
No.
It's just not there.
No,
the ceiling, it seems we're never going to reach like the ceiling we thought we had for this team.
Right.
And we're not going to reach that statement in year one, the way that I at least thought we were going to.
Matt.
Yeah, the feel in the stadium, I felt completely different, just like what Mark and Ryan said. When you're in the stadium, you knew it just wasn't great. The atmosphere was not great at all. Not a lot of cheering. There just wasn't a lot of exciting big plays. Or, like you said, Mason, when we needed a stop, the defense couldn't produce one, right? Everyone in the stadium, outside watching, whoever it was, knew they were going to run the football every single play. Everyone knew it. The fans knew it. The coaches knew it. The players knew it. And we still couldn't stop it. And the running back for Baylor wasn't even the starting running back. It wasn't even the Reese guy. It was like their third or fourth string running back who came in.
It was Squirrel Williams.
Yeah. And
we talked a lot about Dick Reese, and then he didn't matter at all. He got 4 carries.
It was the second or third string guy who came in and almost had 200 rushing yards on us, which just controlled the game from there. Had more time of possession than us. I mean, our offense had over 500, almost 500 yards. They had 499, and it did not feel that way the entire game, which is incredible that they had almost 500 yards of offense. 10 of 15 for third downs, so we were executing there. It was just the final execution. We had 8 penalties for 64 yards, which really hurt us in really bad spots. So really just kind of bad timing of couldn't get stops and bad penalties and bad places. So overall, it's just kind of hard to watch. We had an opportunity. At least we were competitive, but Baylor definitely was a better team.
All right, let's start with the defense. So defense against the Baylor offense. Just for those of you listening at home, be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel, by the way, if you're watching on our YouTube channel. Leave a comment down below what you thought of the game as well. Comment along with us as you're watching. I'm trying
do we have our Twitter plates this episode?
I think we might.
Go follow all of us.
Yeah, go follow us. Go follow us and interact with us on Twitter. I enjoy it. I have fun, especially people who clap at me saying that I'm mean to Danny Stutzman, even though he's
send us your hate tweets.
You're gonna see just how deep Mason's Dolphins thing goes.
Oh
if you go on his Twitter.
I'm definitely on a Dolphins kick right now. Okay, so about the Baylor offense, 413 total yards, 132 yards passing, 281 yards rushing. Look, they made Blake Shapen look pedestrian at best. He had an 18.4 QBR, which that's on a scale of 100, so not good. He didn't look good the whole game. I feel as though you could have played 7 linebackers and no defensive linemen and gotten the same amount of production out of that defense that you would have gotten with 4 down linemen. They were non-existent. In the run game, in the pass rush game, they're a joke. They don't do anything. Ethan Downs is nowhere to be found. At the beginning of the year, everyone, including us, including myself, were talking about how he was going to be a factor on this defense. He hasn't shown up. I haven't seen him in weeks. I mean, he's on the field, but he's not doing anything. Jalen Redmond is playing out of position. I feel bad for him. He shouldn't be where he's at, but they have no other option. So he's going to play inside, and he's not big enough to do it. And it's not Brent's fault or Ted Roof's or anybody's fault. That's just what they have to do with the roster they have. I think my biggest issue is just with the defensive line and the fact that up front, you know how important it is to our Brent Venables defense to win the battle up front, and they just don't have the guys to do it. They just don't. You can't fix that right now. You can't.
What I have written down is, please, dear God, give me all of the incoming defensive line commits.
Didn't you send that text? Didn't you send that text to us?
I don't know, maybe. PJ Adebawore, please enroll early. Derek LeBlanc, please. Colton Vasek, don't flip. David Hicks, reconsider, man. Open invitation to be a program guy if you reconsider.
That's right. That's right. Anybody else? What do you got?
We need an influx of talent,
Yeah.
especially up front on the defense. We don't have the guys. We don't have the guys that Brent had at Clemson. We don't have the guys that he had when he was successful last time that he was at Oklahoma. Some of it comes down to the bodies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, this is what we talked about in the pregame stuff, right? We need to stop the run. That was something we had to do, and we got completely manhandled on the line.
Yeah,
this Baylor team, the past 4 or 5 years, has been more aggressive than we have every single time we've played them. And up until last year, and almost last year, we've had the quarterback talent to be able to, or the offensive talent to be able to basically get over that and get through that, right? We do not have that this year. We saw that yesterday. We do not have look, DG is fine. DG is
we're talking about the defense, Ryan.
Sorry. Yes, we're talking about the defense. Thank you for getting me back on track.
Yep, because we're gonna do that conversation.
Right. I got like really heated. Look, we talked about defending the run, and they didn't do it, and they got manhandled, and they didn't.
Bullied.
They seemed lost, and like I think ultimately, Mason, you're right. Like I don't think this is necessarily about coaching anymore.
It's not.
Because I truly believe that Brent and everybody else on that staff knew exactly what they were getting with Baylor, because they have watched Baylor the past 2 weeks, as have I, and I've seen their run game go from basically non-existent at the beginning of the year to an explosive running offense the past few weeks. Yeah. So we knew we were going to get that. And then Richard Reese goes out and they still can't stop them. Like, and it's like we don't have the personnel, we don't have the right people in the right places. We just look lost. And I don't know. I don't know if that's something that you can fix in a week or 2 weeks.
So if you're an OU fan right now and you're watching this and you're saying to yourself, Mason, you're wrong. They have the guys. They just have to perform better. We lost Matt Gann. They just have to perform better. Think to yourself this. The Brent Venables defenses of old, the ones that made him who he is, who does he have in the middle? He has guys like Tommy Harris. He has guys like Gerald McCoy. He has guys like Christian Wilkins. He has guys who fill that middle, and they don't have that right now. They just don't. The bodies are gone. They're not there. And that's not his fault. And I'm not even going to blame Lincoln Riley or Alex Grinch.
He's coaching Alex Grinch's guys, though. You don't want to blame anyone for anything, but he's coaching Alex Grinch's guys, and Alex Grinch wanted a very specific kind of weird defensive line guy.
He wanted fast, slim.
You to be fast and jump your ass in there.
Yeah.
You need to be able to do other stuff for Brent, and we don't have that.
Yeah. Patrick, jump in there.
Yeah, just a small note. That's also why the USC fans want Grinch gone too. I think you guys covered it.
Twitter is fun during USC
Twitter
games.
is fun.
Yeah, I mean they almost allowed Cal to come back last night.
They go through the roller coaster.
Dude,
yeah,
I can't.
Same one we did.
I literally can't hate watch. I can't hate watch USC. I just can't bring myself to do it. There's just
Caleb's
I watch. I
Caleb
legitimately. It's funny you say that. I literally watched one play right after the LSU Alabama game ended, and Caleb did some freaking rollout where he broke like 3 tackles in the backfield, threw the ball, and they gained like 10 yards. And I was like, I quit.
Yeah.
I can't.
He's just so special.
I know. I just can't. It's unbearable. I can't. He's really good. So anyway, anything else on the defense? By the way, Billy Bowman and Deshaun White are, whenever they name permanent captains, that's who it has to be.
Yeah. Because
based on performance, those are your guys. No one else is doing anything worth a damn. Woody. Okay.
Yeah. That's fair. I'll give you that. Everything he can out there. He's not as good as those guys, though.
No, correct. Correct. In terms of physically, like, want to and talented enough to do it, Deshaun and Billy are those guys. They are those guys.
So Billy Bowman can do no wrong. No. It was interesting. They managed his snaps in the first half for sure. But then by the second half, when it was winning time, he was in there. He only got credited with 2 tackles.
Which is weird. I
remember one, he just beamed in there like a monster. He has that interception. He finds a way to impact the game every time he's in the game. I'm just going to empty the chamber real fast. I thought Key Lawrence played well too. Danny Stutzman led the team in tackles, and I'm still not happy with him.
No.
It feels like
the trip. Oh my God, the trip. Can we talk about the trip? When he fell over and allowed a touchdown.
It's like a 20-sided die every time he does something. You just toss it and you don't know what he's going to do. It's troubling. JK7 played a lot in the fourth, though, and he played at Mike, not at the Cheetah position. Makes me wonder if they're looking at like Eric McCarty or Jacoby Johnson in the next class to take that long-term Cheetah spot after Deshaun and let Jaron work at being David Igwebu's replacement.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just a thought, future looking kind of thing. Yeah.
No, I think you guys covered it. The intensity for me was just not there yesterday. It looked totally lost. It's just bad overall.
It's funny you say the intensity wasn't there, and I feel so bad. I promise I'm going to try to stop hating on Danny Stutzman so much. But there were multiple occasions Danny Stutzman ran full speed into the backfield, unblocked, into the wrong effing hole.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Just in the wrong spot. Like, full-blown effort. Love the effort. Fantastic. Great job. You're going to the wrong spot.
Right there.
Yes. But you're not going to the right spot for the play. Hi, Matt. Welcome back. Matt, what do you got on the defense, brother?
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm sure you guys did a spectacular job of covering what you needed to.
Listen back to check, though.
Yeah, it's flat out embarrassing, honestly. It's hard to watch. We've just seen really good spurts throughout the year, right? Where the last couple of games, we can get stops, we can get pressure, and then all of a sudden we just act like we don't know what we're doing. So it's really hard to watch on a week in, week out basis of what defense we're going to get. Now, we already knew, and I know it wasn't part of the preview pod, but it sounds like you guys hit it on the head, was we have the worst rushing defense in the Big 12, probably one in the nation, and Baylor is known for running, and we couldn't stop it. Everyone knew it. And we still couldn't stop it, no matter how many people we put on the line. And again, we had a lot of transfers coming in from, especially on the defensive line, from the transfer portal, right? BB did his best to fill the gaps from what this team had left over. So we had Jeffrey Johnson, we had Jonah Lelelu coming from Hawaii. I mean, we had guys because we didn't have any bodies on the defensive line. So it's very tough for them to construct a team, and they got bullied all afternoon. I'm not sure if anyone covered it, but one of my biggest points, I was sitting in the stadium and I couldn't believe it. They were going for a 4th and 1 on their own 30, and they were down by 3 points. If that doesn't tell you how much confidence they have that they can easily pick up 1 yard on their own 30, only up by 3 points at a crucial moment, right? A critical point in the game. I don't know what else that tells you, is that Dave Aranda definitely did not have any respect for our defense the entire game, and that's why they ran for well over 200 yards.
Yeah.
Well, I think, again, you
bring great stuff, Gan.
Yeah,
that was
fantastic.
Way to come back in like that.
Really great.
Just monster monologue.
Going to make sure to leave again and come back in, okay?
I think you bring up a really good point, though, on the 4th down situation, because that is something that we knew coming into this game. Baylor goes for it on 4th down. They go for it on 4th down all the time. They are the second, I think, highest 4th down efficiency in the country, behind Texas Tech. And we knew that. And we would still have 3rd and 7. And I was like, okay, a run is coming. We know a run is coming. They're just going to try to get to the 4th and 2, and then they're going to go for it again. And we still couldn't stop them.
Yeah.
And it's very, very frustrating. Very frustrating.
All right, let's move on to the offense. Okay. OU offense against the Baylor defense. Like Matt said earlier, almost 500 yards of offense, 499, 261 passing, 238 rushing. Look, this offense cannot do anything without Eric Gray. They just can't. And that, got to give Eric Gray his flowers, because he deserves it. That offense does not move without him. And people are going to look at the 3 picks. And if you're one of these people who are looking at 3 picks for Dylan Gabriel and you're saying, this guy's a bum, this guy's terrible, what do you want? Who do you want to play? Because he's the best you got by far. And he's not bad. Like Ryan said, 2 of those picks were definitely not on him. I don't know what Braden Willis was doing on that pick when he was throwing it to him and he got picked. I don't know if his arm was
not
pinned or what. It was weird. His 3rd one, I'll give you, that wasn't a great throw. Cross your body. late. You can't do that. But Dylan Gabriel throws for 261. He looked good. He played well. He's the least of your worries. The least of your worries. So OU fans who want Baker or Kyler Murray to walk through that door, he's not. He's not. And look, I love Jackson Arnold. I think he's going to be a great quarterback. He may not even be there. We got to prepare ourselves for that. Okay? Everyone take a breath. Dylan Gabriel is the least of this offense's worries, this team's worries, by far. I'm off my soapbox. I'm sorry.
I agree.
We love a passionate Mason.
I just see people on Twitter like, oh, Dylan looks
Oh,
bad
you mean
again.
the cesspool that is Twitter?
Dude, it's so gross. I hate it. It's so. Follow me on Twitter at Mason Prince TV.
Add to the cesspool.
I'm gonna pay
Miami
$8
Dolphins.
I'm gonna pay $8 to keep my blue check mark. Pat, jump in there.
Yeah, follow Mason Prince at Mason Prince 13. It's gonna say Elon Musk on it, but
Yeah.
it's all right. He's checked. He's checked.
Yeah, Pat, go ahead.
I thought Dylan did a great job running the ball too. Like he was
He
great
did.
on his feet yesterday, and of course we don't want him running the ball because of his concussion. But I mean, he played really good. I think he played really good, and he ran the ball really good. For the offense, here's the one play where I thought we lost the game, and I think this was a coaching decision. It was the awful coaching decision. Was punting it right at the beginning of the fourth quarter on 4th and 4 when we were in territory to go for it. I think that is where we lost the game. I don't understand that play call. I want us to be ambitious and to go for it. In those kind of scenarios, we knew our defense wasn't going to stop them. That was the point in the game to change the tide. We didn't.
I can agree with that. Matt, what'd you see?
I mean, what more do you want from an offense? 500 plus yards. I think any offense in Division I college football would kill to average 450, 500 yards a game. And that's what OU has done. I mean, we're running the ball really well. Eric Gray is just, I mean, he's just been incredible. He has only gotten better and better throughout the entire season. I think the offensive line is gelling quite a bit as they've gotten throughout the season as well. I think just the penalties killed a lot of drives. And the 4th and 1 that we did the wildcat on, if we can't pick up 1 yard, I mean, I just talked about how good the offensive line has been, but man, we can't pick up 1 yard on 4th and 1. That was a total game breaker right there as well. I agree with you, Patrick, that 4th and 4 we should have gone as well, but that 4th and 1, absolutely.
Marcus Major is way too patient on that.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, he needs to find his hole and hit it. He dances way too much in the backfield and just allows the Baylor guys to get back there. So I don't know how much more you can complain about 500 yards of offense. I mean, scoring 35 plus points, it's tough to know that you put up those kind of numbers and still can't win a football game.
500 yards and 35 points wins you a game 90% of the time in college football. Mark, go ahead.
I'm going to be the negative one. Other than being
No,
fast.
I'm also going to be a negative.
Other than being
you.
fast, what is our identity? We don't run the ball well. Eric Gray runs the ball well. The offensive line is not creating good enough holes for him. He's just very, very good at quickly getting through small amounts of space. He's fighting through contact all the time.
Yeah.
And props to him, man. He's the best player on the offense. It's not Marvin Mims. Here's Marvin Mims' catches this season. 3 catches, 7 catches, 4, 4, 4, 1, 9 against Kansas. That game was awesome. 2 last week, 4 yesterday. He should have 12 catches a game.
He had 5 targets.
It's just not enough.
I know.
I'm
I'm helping your point. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. And I'm sorry. Dylan Gabriel's great. He's a really steady hand on the wheel. He is not a ceiling raiser in any kind of way. It's not his fault that he's not as fast as Kyler Murray, but it means more balls are going to get tipped. That's the game that we're playing. So what do we do about it? It seems to me like the system is sort of 1 read, 2 read. You better scramble out a little bit and find something. Okay. We got to figure something out then, because we're not hitting that 1 read or the 2 read. And I don't know if it's route concepts or Dylan's vision or Dylan's ability or our receivers' abilities, but we all like Marvin Mims. We all like Jaleel Farouk. We all trust Drake Stoops. We all want to see all these freshmen playing. We all like Braden Willis. He has 1 catch. What's the identity on the offense? The offensive line is clearly getting out physical. Anton Harrison and Wanye Morris are NFL guys, and they're not playing like it. Not against NFL guys on the other side. I have real concerns with these things. There's creative things that are a lot of fun. Scheming for Jaleel, that's great. I really love that. The Braden Willis sweep play was super cool. Lots of fun Drake Stoops motion stuff. I just don't see us building towards something there. It feels like cool play calling, like I do on Madden.
Yeah. Ryan?
I like the little Madden add to the end, Mark. Yeah, I'm also going to be a little negative here. DG was fine. Like, he was fine. And he's been fine every damn game that we've had this year. He's not getting any better. Like, he's still overthrowing all the time. I am genuinely
I thought he was better on that yesterday.
I did not. And maybe that was me just watching from the stands. I just felt like he was overthrowing quite a bit. And I bet if I watched it back on TV, maybe I thought differently. I thought that one long pass that he had to Marvin Mims was beautiful. I also thought it was against the wind. And it's very possible that the wind helped in that situation, because he usually overthrows in that situation. So, like, I don't think he's good enough for what we need, especially when our defense is playing like they did. Like they did yesterday. Like, our offense was just, it needs to be great in those situations. And you're right, Mark, we don't have an identity. Our identity right now in the past couple of weeks has been Eric Gray, and that's it. Like, he has been the person that we go to. And frankly, we just haven't been good enough. And DG has not been good enough, and he needs to be better. And if that's not going to happen, he's going to get beat out by somebody next year. You're right, Mason, going back to your point, we don't have anybody else right now, but that's going to change. And he needs to be better if he's going to keep this position, because right now he's not good enough.
I think the Nick Evers after a year of school, Jackson Arnold, Dylan Gabriel competition is going to be a real one when we get there.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it will be.
So I hear your point, Ryan. So here's where I'm at, and then somebody else can jump in real quick. I'm trying to find the correct way to phrase this. He shouldn't have to be as good as you're wanting him to be.
You're right.
Because he's not that guy. Like you said, he's not. And I am willing to admit that. Is he a good quarterback? Yes, he's a very good quarterback, and I think we're very lucky to have him. But he shouldn't have to raise his play and raise the team's ceiling as much as other quarterbacks in the past have. Even Jalen Hurts made that team way better than they should have been.
He was the fulcrum of that offense.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I know.
Oh, my God. He's why Trey Sermon left.
Oh, I know. So you're right. He does need to be better, but I disagree that he needs to be the thing that rises everything. The defense just has to be better. He led offense to 500 yards and 35 points. If you're not okay with that,
but
I understand that. I understand that this is Oklahoma and we're used to seeing 45 points a game, 50 points a game, and 500 yards is ho-hum. It's not 99% everywhere else. Like, Alabama has a Heisman winning quarterback and their offense struggles at times. So it's just, I get where you're coming from, but I'm trying to you're trying to bring it a little more down to earth. I don't know.
Completely understand what you're doing, Mace, but I think we're kind of in between a rock and a hard place at this point. We just talked about the defense not being able to be better because we don't have the guys. Our offense can't be better because we don't have the guy. It's like we are just in this spot where we feel like we have hit this ceiling that we can't go through because we just do not have the right talent on both sides of the ball. And it's just not clicking the way that it should.
Yeah.
I think it's coaching on offense.
Like Levy or positionally?
Like Levy. How are people not open, and how can Dylan Gabriel not see people open? Again,
that second one, I have no idea, because he had people open yesterday and he didn't hit them.
Who do you guys think led the team in catches yesterday?
Well, I have it in front of me. So
everyone's got it, right? It's Eric Gray with 8 catches. That's more than twice what everyone else had. That's too many throws to your running back if you don't also spread the ball to everyone else. 6 total dudes caught passes, and Theo only caught 1 of those. It's not enough distribution. It's not enough schemed targets. That's the thing. That's how you get Marvin Mims 12 catches, is you go into a game and you say, we're getting Marvin Mims 12 catches. There's no effort to do that. We're just calling plays.
Yeah.
I don't understand that part of it. And
Matt,
all the stuff you guys are saying is right. We scored 5 touchdowns, whatever, but what we have can be better than what we've seen. That's what I'll say.
Okay. Matt, Pat.
I agree with you, Mark. I think Levy is part of the issue as well. The positive side of that is he's not leaving us this year to get a head coaching job, and I'm happy about that.
Silver linings.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's got to deal with what he's got. And I think at this point, I'm happy that we're moving the ball down the field. We're getting a bunch of yards and we're scoring touchdowns. I think we lack a certain finesse and execution on some of those drives, like the 4th and 1 or going up front or not being aggressive enough. But I mean, what else do you want Levy to do? There were guys open. I know the whole section of my row was like, hey, Drake Stoops is open. Why is he not throwing this ball? So I think it's a little bit of both, right, Mark? I think scheming, Levy's in the offense, but there's only so much Levy can do when he is scheming. It's got to be execution on both parts. So
I think that's Dylan.
Yeah, that's
right,
Dylan.
and that's partly Dylan as well, even though
Dylan.
Yeah, it's partly Dylan as well, right? I mean, Levy can give down the play call, but DG's got to execute it, right? And if he's not seeing the field, he's going to check it down like he did, like you said. Eric Gray had 8 catches. A lot of those were check downs, and Eric Gray made the most of it. So that's where the offense is at. I think we're moving the ball quite well for what we're doing, especially with what we have. Eric Gray is. We get some deep shots to Marvin Mims and some of those guys. There's just a lack of, I think, finesse and execution on some of those drives. And, we could easily put up 40, 50-plus points if we needed to. And honestly, we have to if we're going to win any more football games the rest of the year.
There's no rhythm. There's no identity. It's Eric Gray down the field.
You guys ever remember seeing that video that it's that I think he's like an Indian guy and he's like a Arsenal fan, like a soccer fan. There is no energy. There is no aggression. There's no passion. There's no nothing. That's how I feel right now. There's just it's sad. But let us know down below in the comment section what you thought of the offense, defense, whatever it is. Guys, let's pick our MVPs before we get out of here. We'll do our MVP segment. Ryan, go first because you laughed. So you get to go first.
I don't want to go first.
Yeah.
Ryan's like, the Baylor Bears.
Yeah.
Sick 'em.
Yeah.
Sick 'em.
Yeah. Sick 'em.
We haven't even talked about my experience with this game, which is great.
You know
I'm
what?
very, very
before
thankful.
we hit the MVPs, there was rumor of turmoil in the Tyson McDonald relationship. So could you elaborate?
Well, we just had a bit of a. We were fine. We're fine. We're good.
Tiff, perhaps.
That's a good
Mid-game
word.
tiff.
I think it was a first quarter tiff, maybe, and then we're fine. We're good.
So while
Worked it out.
Oklahoma
We're
was
solid.
winning, it's a tiff, and then Baylor takes a lead, and we're good.
No, we weren't good. Exactly. We're good now. This is what matters. Everything's good. Everything is
good.
cheery and peachy, and yes, that's good. My MVP, because of the dumpster fire that was the defense, I'm going to give it to Billy Bowman, who I thought actually played pretty well yesterday and had that really great interception and made some really good tackles and just seemed like he's obviously the most talented and hardest working person on that defense. It seems to me that it comes across that way. Yep. And so just, a ray of light in a dumpster fire, I guess.
Eric Gray. He goes, the offense goes. It's plain and simple. If you want to put the actual word or words in front of you most valuable, it's Eric Gray. So to me, it's Eric.
I completely agree. It's Eric Gray.
Yeah, I'll go. I mean, it's tough. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of options to be frank. I'll just give a loser MVP, and that's got to be the defensive line. We talked about it all game. No pressure, couldn't stop the run. I'm just going to give a loser one because, unfortunately, there was more losing than most valuable yesterday. So that's mine.
Okay.
My MVP of yesterday's game is the 6th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners 2023 class. Expect a lot of those guys to come in and
enroll early, baby.
Time.
Yeah.
All y'all enroll early.
Please. Yeah. See you in January.
Also, one final MVP I wanted to add: the Kansas Jayhawks for beating the Oklahoma State Cowboys. You really hate to see a proud program like Oklahoma State lose to Kansas like that. It's just.
I
Shout
know
out to the Jayhawks going bowling.
Look, we're going to talk about this in 2 weeks before Bedlam, but I'm really looking forward to that. Like, it's going to be like chaotic game because both these teams are not very good, and it's just going to be like all over the place.
Yeah, this Bedlam game is going to be cool.
It's going to be fun. So,
okay, hold on. Just random thought. Now that we're at the end of the podcast and people have stopped listening.
Yeah.
After the Bedlam game, live pod for as long as we need.
Ooh,
okay.
That's a fun idea.
Whoever wants to be in with us, they're in with us. It doesn't matter. But we got to get it all out then because
we are going to all be together. It's going to be fun.
Be good
I could bring my laptop just with my camera and we'll set it there and we'll all just sit together and we can pass a mic around.
Figure it out, right?
We love it.
Figure it out.
I love it. Let's do it.
Hey, one last thing for me, guys. Hype Shoes, our sponsor of the week. Go get your Hype Shoes.
Patrick.
Oklahoma sliders. Click the link at the bottom of the description of this page. They don't only have Oklahoma slides. They have other schools like Clemson, Auburn, Florida State, Louisiana State. Great win by LSU yesterday, by the way. Michigan State, A&M, CU, Boulder, UCF, etc. So go get your Hype Shoes.
Bang,
Thank you, Patrick.
I love mine.
Love Hype Shoes. Matt, anything
Last
to add
I saw
before we get out?
they were running a 35% sale. You don't even need a code. So go check it out.
Hell yeah.
Get on in there.
Hell yeah. Matt, anything before we get out?
I just love seeing the boys. That was the highlight of my day. I got to see Mark and Papa Hall as well. And then Ryan, I know Ryan didn't want me to, but I did see his parents and I did meet the McDonald's as well. I know they didn't want to meet me, but I sure did. So it was great seeing everybody yesterday.
God, I love you so much.
No, it was real quick. Dad was like, wait, which one's Gann again? And I was like, the one that wore the gloves at the last game. And he was like, oh, that one. So another story for the listeners at another time.
Love it. Gosh. All right. That's going to do it for this week. Be sure to like, subscribe on our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at Program Guys with a Z. Follow us on Twitter if our names are there. I think they are. They should be. Hype Shoes, as always, we appreciate you as our sponsor. Facebook page, Program Guys Podcast. However you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. That's where you can find us. Clemson, capital F frauds, by the way. Pat, take us out.
Keep pushing it, baby.